You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ TV studios in Los Angeles, California, filling in for the great Sir Richard Wentworth, this is Phil Svitek announcing tonight's AFTERBUZZ TV Smash After Show. Tonight's hosts are Kendra Kabasele and Sarah Mendoza. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can dial 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off, and the buzz continues. It's AFTERBUZZ TV Smash.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great
You're getting
intro.
really good at that.
Yes. welcome to.
Do I get a callback?
We
You'll
have to
find out at the
deliberate.
end of this after show.
There's some tasks.
Suspense.
Yeah. Welcome to Smash, episode 2, called the Callbacks, and that's exactly what it was. But before we get into that, we'll take care of some business. We're sitting in for Tamara Berg, who's not here this week, but she'll be back next week, and also Michelle, who's gone on to handle The Voice, which is another NBC hit. NBC, right, Phil?
Correct.
NBC hit. So, but joining us, we have the lovely Sarah Mendoza. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I saw the first episode last week and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to jump on that.
Yes, and you did, and we welcome you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Totally.
Otherwise, I would be sitting in here talking by myself. Maybe
and
to
I'd
Phil.
be watching you from home.
Yeah, saying I got to jump on that. But aside from that, I guess we'll just get into the show. I mean, we know what the big topic was this week.
I think, yeah, but both you and I were just kind of sitting there at the end of show with our jaws dropped.
Yes.
Like, did that just happen?
I just picked it up off of the floor.
it was totally what I totally didn't expect that ending.
Yes. And I know, we know what we're talking about, the elephant in the room. Ivy, do you want to announce it?
Thank you for the honor. No, yeah, so for those of you who might have missed it, we actually found out tonight who landed the role of Marilyn Monroe, and it was Ivy.
Yes.
It was Megan Hilty's character who actually got the role. Yeah, so big news there, and we're gonna get in a little bit more detail.
We'll get into it later. I'm still
in a
getting
bit.
over it.
Me too, and she kind of got it by scandalous means.
Yes, but we'll get into that
so
later.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
But I think we'll just start off with kind of getting into the character development. I know last week you saw our podcast. We kind of talked about different characters and where we thought they were in their mind, and just how we thought they would evolve, and what our predictions were for the season. And I think we saw a little glimpse of that in this episode. So I guess we'll just start with Julia and Frank, the married couple. What did we think about them this time?
Well, being that it is a new series, it's interesting that we're now digging deeper in the background of these characters. Mm-hmm. So, last week we learned about Julia and Frank, right?
Yeah.
Frank, they're adopting a child. And we went a little bit deeper with that. We find out that, this is something that their son has been wanting for a long time. He's been wanting, like a baby sister.
Yeah, that was a little kind of curveball for me. I was kind of confused as to why he reacted so, he was like, no, we've been waiting for this all this time.
Yeah.
Because we did find out that it's going to be a 2-year process or longer.
Right.
Which disappointed Julia's character. And we found out that Frank, his heart just wasn't in it, at least in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, well, he's sort of rethinking it, knowing that it is going to be a longer process that they had initially anticipated. He's saying, like, I'm going to be 65 by the time
she graduates
from high school. Do we really want to still do this? And upon hearing that, of course, the son, who's been waiting for this moment for so long, he's already upset about the initial wait. Now he's learning it might not even happen.
Yeah.
He was very emotional about it. We saw that in this episode.
Yeah. It was just, I think that part threw me off because the writing was so, it was kind of too explanatory. Like, we didn't really hear much from him in the first episode, and for him to kind of, have the picket signs out and to explain his opinion. This time It was a little odd, but I mean, it explained it. It got us to where we needed to be. So
my question is, what do you think the reason is that they just don't, have a, instead of adopting, have a baby now together?
Maybe she can't have.
And if so, I wonder why. Like, is it a health complication, or what happened in their past that they can't have a baby together?
Yeah, I feel like they didn't explain that in the first episode. I don't think.
Right. So hopefully we'll go a little bit more, or they'll go a little bit more into that in the coming episodes.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting seeing their family dynamic and learning more about those characters in this episode.
Yeah, and it all came full circle because towards the end, they kind of resolved those feelings. I mean, it was understandable. He felt that everyone else had projects they were working on in the meantime, and he felt that he was just waiting for this adoption to happen. So that projection of 2 years was kind of, unthinkable for him. So he was trying to find something to grasp onto. He was like, I'm going to go back and teach. And it turned out at the end of the episode that he really still wants this child, but he just needed to kind of express that he needs something else in his life as well.
Right.
Right. Okay. Let's move on to, should we go on to Ellis, the assistant?
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's kind of the nice guy. I feel like there's something we still haven't seen yet with him.
Do you think that, Tom hopes that he's gay?
Yeah.
Do you think that he's gay? What's your guess on that?
We talked about this last week, and Tamara, if you're watching, I mean, they were saying he was. I wasn't sure. I don't know. I don't really go around kind of gauging those things, but
right.
I mean, we'll see as time goes on. He was funny in that he kind of kept reminding them that the Marilyn project was his idea. I thought that was cute.
Right.
It was kind of, and other than that, I mean, that's his role.
But isn't that crazy that sometimes that's how, amazing musicals or even television shows and movies are like born? It's just from like this small idea that somehow, it escapes someone's mouth at one point during a conversation. And then it turns into something awesome, like major. A musical, like this Marilyn musical that they're putting together. This intern, he just says a little side comment like, "Oh, Marilyn Monroe would make a great musical." Yeah. And then there they are running with it.
Right. And he was even fired and rehired, so that was interesting too.
But that's because Tom has a crush on him.
Right. But they also were trying to keep him in his position. They were like, well, an idea and a fleeting thought, two different things.
Right. And who knows what'll happen if they do really fire him. Like, he might, I don't know if he has grounds to sue, like, hey, that was my idea. You can't, I'm going to be making money from this or something,
Yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be one of our predictions. And then who else did? Oh, Eileen and Jerry.
I don't like him.
Yeah, something about him. The soon-to-be divorced couple.
Well,
power couple.
We saw in this episode, like, was that his new girl that he's dating, the young?
Yes.
He's like what, like a 60-year-old man just divorcing his wife now. He treats her, he's a D-bag. And then, we find out that he's actually dating this like 20-something-year-old.
It was interesting because Eileen actually said, no, we've met before. And you were like, wait. And I was like, she must have caught them together in the past. Or she just looks like all of his other friends. Sorry.
Friends.
Yes. We'll keep
friends
it PG.
Bennies.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So who else did we want to?
For the smaller characters, that those are the ones that stood out. For the smaller characters this episode. Yeah. The big thing for this episode, I guess we can move on to our next topic.
Yeah.
This
is the one we wanted to. This is the meat and potatoes of this episode.
We'll do like
Karen and Ivy.
Yeah, Karen and Ivy. And we kind of held off on sharing this earlier.
Yes.
You still haven't told me who you're
going
picking.
for?
There's so much, some people are, it's like a Team Jacob and Edward thing from Twilight now. There's Team Karen
Team
and
Karen
Team
and Team
Ivy.
Ivy.
I saw it all over Twitter. Like, people are posting, you know, all the outlets are saying, are you Team Karen or are you Team
Oh, really?
Ivy?
Already?
I know what team I'm on.
I know which team I'm on, too. And I don't actually. Now's a good time before we get into that to say those who are Team Ivy. I know last week we kind of briefly addressed the characters and where they're from, and we know that Megan Hilty, who plays Ivy, she's a Broadway actress.
She's amazing.
She's been in Wicked
Right.
and some other big productions, and so we see why she's a great choice for this show and for that character because
Right.
she plays the
It's
veteran.
her life.
Yes, exactly.
It's her life. I was watching some of her videos on YouTube from when she was playing Glinda in Wicked.
Oh.
She's absolutely amazing.
Did she play in the Wicked that played here or just in New York?
You know, I think it might have been New York.
Okay.
But she's absolutely amazing. And I noticed, you know, she did it differently than Kristen Chenoweth did it with Wicked. She kind of made it her own.
Okay.
And still, it was fabulous. I wish I could have seen her live on stage.
Yeah, she seems like a great actress. And it was nice that they played the two against each other because Catherine McPhee in real life is pretty green in that area. And that's the character that she plays.
Right.
Which leads us to announce which teams we're on, right? That's why we're sitting across from each other.
Yeah. I mean, I love both girls, but I've chosen a team.
Okay, what's your team?
Okay, I'm totally Team Ivy.
Okay, I thought so.
What about you?
I'm Team Karen.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
We're on opposing sides here.
Yes.
No sound effect for that?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I know why. Phil's not in there. That's okay. Thanks, Ronnie.
Wow. What are you trying to say? You want a sound effect? I'm just finishing up the voice, and then now I'm diving into what you guys are saying on Smash. So just forgive me, but I'm going to follow what's going on. And yeah, it's a great show, though, right? I'll give. Do you want to ooh right now? Say something ooh worthy. How about that?
We just did. You missed the moment.
As I said, we were doing the voice, and now we're doing Smash, as we do a lot of different shows here at AfterBuzz. But you guys are doing great. This show, I've watched most of episode 1, and I'm actually dying to see episode 2.
Oh, good.
Does it have a really good pace? I mean, are you guys enjoying it? Is
gosh.
it a hit?
Yes.
So
it's
good.
a smash, Ronnie.
It's a smash hit.
It's really good. We're getting into it. We actually have picked our teams. She's Team Ivy, I'm Team Karen, and we're gonna get into why. So you go ahead.
Is that something that's on Twitter? Is it like becoming a?
It is.
A rivalry.
We were just talking about that. It's sort of like the whole Twilight phenomenon, the Team Jacob versus Team Edward thing. People are asking the question: are you on Team Ivy or are you on Team Karen?
Right.
Which one is Catherine McPhee?
Karen.
Oh,
that's
That's her girl.
Okay, why do you choose her over the other girl? The other girl's a real Broadway star, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
and we, like we said, it's nothing personal. It's all about the characters. There's something about Karen. I almost said Catherine. Karen's character that I like, in that she is green, in that Marilyn Monroe, the timeline that she's playing matches her timeline. She's green now, but I think as the show goes on, she'll develop her confidence. I think she'll play a more authentic Marilyn. Whereas I feel like Team Ivy, it's good that she's obsessed with the character. It sounds like she was, in character even when she was backstage talking to Tom. But there's just something. It's like a je ne sais quoi about Karen's character.
Right.
Take that.
Well, here's my thing.
Yeah.
Ivy, the character Ivy, has been Karen for the last 10 years. Just waiting, waiting for her big break.
Do we have the violins?
Exactly.
No?
The
Okay.
violins for Ivy because she deserves, to finally get her big break. That's
okay.
And it's obvious that she's very passionate. They both are. Both
Yeah.
of the young women are passionate. But
Yeah.
I think if you are green like Karen, you do need to season up, maybe be in an ensemble or two before, you're the leading lady. Because you need more experience. Like in the beginning of the episode, Karen couldn't even dance. And it was amazing. She surprised us in the end.
Yeah, that was a great
When she performed,
callback.
she was amazing. She totally transformed.
Yeah.
But just with Ivy, you know, the past 10 years of her life was dedicated to, you know, finally being the star, and she seasoned herself and studied. She knows everything about Marilyn's life. I just feel like she deserves it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's debatable.
I mean, the most interesting thing about this show, or, you know, that whole, what you said, deserving to be the star. Unfortunately, in entertainment, deserving and putting in the dedication and hard work is not always what's going to.
Right.
It is actually
Subjective.
talent and luck and a little bit. And I think Smash is going to be that show that
Right.
allows you to kind of see the struggles that people go through.
Right.
Because a lot of people I talk to, they were like, oh, I don't really watch Broadway. Broadway is not my thing, so I'm maybe not going to follow Smash. But what I saw, it's not just the Broadway thing. That's just one element, you know?
Well, yeah, and that's
Right.
the funny thing. I've read articles that said the same thing. They're not going to gain the crowd that doesn't follow Broadway. But, I mean, I've seen Broadway plays, but I'm not, you know, I'm not the expert on all Broadway plays, but I'm enjoying it. I think it's just another escape to watch this show. I enjoy it. It's fun. It has the drama. It has a little bit of comedy, and you know, in Ellis. We love Ellis.
Well, I was watching an interview online that Meg Hilty did, and she was saying the reason why the show is going to speak to a wider audience than just, you know, Broadway buffs is, you know, it's like the same case as, you know, the show ER. You don't have to be in the medical profession
To enjoy.
that show. Really what it's about is the struggle, the relationships, the story arcs that are presented in the show. And, you know, we have that in Smash.
Yeah, and I think the other thing people might like, there was something I was reading, and it's here, that each episode is going to have one original song, because it's actually the playwright actually created all of these songs, created this Marilyn, kind of like, I guess, a fictitious show for this show, for Smash.
Right.
So it's actually something that, you know, veteran Broadway watchers or followers can't sing along with necessarily,
Right.
because it's original, you know, songs. So we don't feel left out.
I think I was reading that it was they actually have 2 original songs in each episode, which
Really?
is
This
incredible.
is one, but
Oh,
and
well,
this is Time
1 or 2,
Magazine.
like it's just crazy that every week,
Yeah.
you know, they've created a new song.
yeah,
And the thing about these songs is it's not just like a random, you know, song that they throw onto the episode.
yeah,
These songs are actually like, not only is it, you know, does it drive the musical plot forward, but it also kind of parallels the characters,
Right.
Ivy and Karen.
yeah, exactly.
The songs that they're singing are exactly what they're going through
Yeah,
in the process.
yeah.
As far as music, how different is this? I know it's a completely different show than Glee, but initially it did get the comparisons. What I saw on episode 1, it's a lot of the, you know, the music is a little more vintage. You know, Glee does the brand new stuff and they
Yeah.
remake it. I'm not a Glee fan, so it's probably not good for me to talk bad about Glee because I don't actually like the show as much as I seem to like this. Can you guys speak on the difference in the sound of the music between the 2 different shows?
Right.
I said this in the first podcast. I don't watch Glee. I've heard about, you know, the different shows and show tunes that they
I'm a total
perform.
geek, so
Are you a
I
geek?
can kind of speak on this. I think that Glee and this show Smash, they're entirely different beasts. Glee is more of the, you know, it's meant for a younger demographic. It's very how should I say it? It's like quirky.
Yeah.
It's for a younger audience. It's very corny, you know. I love it. I love the corniness and the quirkiness. But the songs in that series, a lot of them are not really meant to drive the plot forward like Smash does. Some of them are just performance pieces because they are a show choir.
Yeah, it's just insert here.
It's about the Glee is about a show choir that competes. So sometimes they'll just do covers just because it's, you know, it's a cool song right now and they want to do a cool mashup or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas with this show Smash, I really appreciate, like I said a little bit ago, that these songs, it actually speaks to the characters and to what they're actually dealing with.
They're more
within the
narrative.
show.
It's more of a
it's more it's more like a musical than Glee is.
If I could refer back to my Time Magazine article, it actually said that Smash feels like an attempt to do Glee for adults, age-appropriate escapism. That's what the James P. because I can't say his last name. That's what he wrote. So that's interesting that you said that about the age.
Yeah, and I
bracket.
disagree with that statement. I don't know if you agree with it, but
I don't watch
I think
Glee,
it's
but
this is an entirely different thing. Smash is more about the struggle. It's about dreams. It's about two young women.
Yeah.
They both have a dream, and they're trying their best.
Yeah.
Whereas with Glee, it's more of the whole like high school challenges.
Yeah. That
not
teen
really.
angst and
yeah,
everything.
the teen angst. So it is different.
Yeah.
They're definitely different shows. Do you guys feel like this is going to give other networks, because when you get one little trend, Glee's got a lot of music. Now Smash has theirs. Will ABC possibly, join in on this? I mean, is this show that good, and will it stick around to the point that we start seeing other networks get involved and jumping on this as well?
Well, I think that Glee opened up that avenue for Smash. If it wasn't for Glee, we wouldn't have a Smash, I think.
And I think they agree with that. I think I've heard Deborah Messing or somebody had agreed with that statement, that it opened the doors, but it's not a carbon copy. So maybe we'll see, a mix of the two on CBS or some other station. We'll see like, I don't know, Star Wars.
I think
musical,
we will see more, but I just hope they're not people just trying to imitate and they're all misses. Like the thing about Glee is they were the originals. Can't touch the originals, right? And then Smash, they've got these big, Tony award-winning people working on the show who have done, Hairspray in Chicago, and they have experience in this genre. That's why it's so good. Plus, they've got amazing actors in it. So I'm hoping that people don't kind of just try and imitate, and it's just bootleg version,
Right.
Like don't do it for the sake of doing it, like CW, because if CW would do it, they've got great shows, but they'd probably put vampires on it, and it would be a whole different beast altogether. Yeah, we don't want that. Not at all.
And that's how I feel about 3D movies. This is slightly off topic, but it seems like they're just making movies 3D just to make them 3D.
And 4D now.
Right, and it does nothing for me.
Right. Well, let's get into Karen and Ivy and their first meeting. What did you think of that? It was a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because was that pre or post shenanigans? I can't remember now.
That was pre-shenanigans, I think.
Well, so it was still a little awkward because they were still vying for the part, and Derek still had that kind of tension between himself and Ivy, and then also with Karen.
What's interesting is that they're both they're so different from each other.
Yeah.
They're both very talented young women, and you want them both to get the part. Like, it's almost like you don't want to have to choose.
Yeah.
Because there's something great about each one of them.
But
and then when you see them come together, it's just so apparent, the difference
in level, right?
Yeah,
in their
level, like
experience. Because even, what did Ivy say to Karen when she met her? Oh, that's a cute scarf. Like, pat her on the head. Yeah. That was a little uncomfortable, but she was so, genuinely nice, Team Karen, that she was like, oh, thanks, my mom bought this for me, And then she was let out and the door was slammed in her face just because they were...
For me, it's almost like you're seeing the different sides of Marilyn Monroe in different women, because actually I was reading a little bit about Marilyn a few days ago, and she had immense stage fright, and she was Karen Cartwright, but then when she's on stage she becomes Ivy, so you're seeing the two sides of her in separate women, both I don't know it's hard to...
It's interesting that they said they keep bringing up Scarlett Johansson as, he keeps saying, well, we could always call Scarlett in. And she actually, I've heard her say she has stage fright. Yeah. So I wonder if, all of this means something. Anyway.
Well, I mean, a lot of performers, I don't know if Middle America or whatever is knowledgeable of this, but a lot of performers, you hear like Janet Jackson, she says, scared, outside of being on stage. Performers enjoy, being on stage. So that's kind of cool that they do talk about it. So people could know, Marilyn Monroe, she may have been great, but she's also very, very shy, Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Beyonce, you could go on and on. Sasha Fierce, like they create these characters for the stage.
Right.
I'm not sure that Karen had that necessarily.
Well, in this episode, we kind of saw both sides from both women because, you know, in that one performance, Karen transformed and she took on the more, you know, confident side. And then at the end, or when they were walking, we heard Ivy was talking to her friend, whoever, I don't know his name. And she was saying, you know, who am I kidding? Like, I'm nervous. Like, she was, at first she was being confident. And then she confesses, like, you know, who am I kidding? I'm so nervous right now.
Right. Yeah, it showed the human side of her.
Right.
She was kind of like a robot. But I think Karen's confidence is Karen's confidence. I don't feel like she's putting herself in Marilyn's shoes to be Marilyn for some reason. I feel like it's her interpretation of Marilyn, and that shows in how she shows up to callbacks and auditions. She's kind of plain Jane.
She doesn't dress up.
Right. She just kind of shows
who she is.
Yeah, her own self, whereas bells and whistles on your team, trying to
Ivy puts on the whole, you know, all the stops.
Exactly. So I don't know. I'm still figuring all that out, but I am Team Karen.
Well, okay.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's a part of what I like so much about Ivy is she's completely committed.
Right.
You know, from
but Karen is too. She is committed
in her own way with her little cute scarf.
Yeah, she's just like, this is me, take me or leave me, but I can still do the job.
Right.
She doesn't need all the. Anyways, so should we get into our next topic? I wanted to say something else, but we know what it is. Derek and Ivy.
Right.
We should call it shenanigans.
Smashing.
Oh, see?
Derek and Ivy
Where's
smashing
Phil?
on Smash.
Where's Phil? With
What do you want? I mean, no, you got to bring it though. I'm gonna make you bring
You're
it.
not hearing the punchlines.
I'm hearing them, but you know, you got to bring
Are you
it a
not
little
liking
bit.
my jokes?
That
They're
was
great
funny.
jokes, but I don't want to. You know what it is? I don't want to cover you guys up with the great. You know, it's like you guys are doing a good recap, so I don't want to cover it up with the sound effect that doesn't match. Can you give me that one?
This guy trying to save himself.
I know.
Trying to save himself.
Thanks, Ron.
It's all about you guys, you know.
Please bring Phil back. Okay.
Okay.
So
No, we love him too. Oh, there. Now he has.
exactly.
Every AfterBuzz fan didn't like that comment. How about
they're
that?
all calling in, right?
Joking. All right, go back to you doing your thing.
Yes.
Okay, so
Derek.
Ivy and Derek smashed in this episode.
Yeah, well, and no pun intended. The thing was early on in the episode, and I know you kind of, I don't know if you want to admit that you kind of read about the episode, or you caught something and you knew what was going to happen, and
So
you're protecting the integrity of it by not telling me. Thank you, because I didn't want to know. But I noticed early on in the episode there was some kind of exchange. It was uncomfortable between Ivy and Derek, where I was like, wait, did something happen that I missed? Is it going to happen? And you were like, oh, I want to tell you, but
Yeah.
and now I know what happened.
I was so angry when I came across. There was an article that kind of spoiled it for me that mentioned that Derek and Ivy hooked up, and then Ivy got the part.
Yeah.
So I knew that from the get-go, but what I wanted to say about that was.
You're still Team Ivy?
I'm still Team Ivy. Here's my question. Who's taking advantage of who? Is Ivy taking advantage of Derek and trying to get in there and that's how she got a role? Or is Derek taking advantage of Ivy? You know, maybe she's naive and she thinks that this could be a real love that's, you know, budding.
Blossoming.
But he's just like, oh, this young girl wants the part. I'm going to, you know,
And
get it from her so I can give
have
it
a
to
casting
her.
couch. Yeah, well, because I think it goes both ways. I think they're using each other. And it all started with him trying to take the clip out of the hair. I was like, oh gosh, here it goes. And I don't know if she got caught up in the moment and you know, didn't kind of premeditate. I don't think it was premeditated where she's thinking, oh, I'm going to use him.
That's what I was
I feel like he kind of seduced her And
Right.
now she's like, well, I should just go along
Well,
with
I
this.
agree with you on this one.
Oh, okay.
Because
Applause.
applause. We'll do it ourselves.
I'm going to have my own sound effect machine next time. I'm bringing it in. I'm going to check eBay.
Yeah, you're doing fine. You don't need no clapping for validation.
Okay.
You're Kendra, you know?
Phil knows.
Oy.
Okay, I'm just kidding.
She loves
Ronnie.
her applause. Maybe.
No, well, because thank you. No, because we were saying we agree, so that's good.
And the reason why I do agree is because Derek was also, trying to get it from Karen.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get it from everybody.
Which this all leads to Exhibit B, that we should all be on Team Karen. She didn't give it up. That she had respect for herself. She didn't give it up last episode. And I think that's going to play in her favor, as we saw kind of a sneak peek of the next episodes. I think Ivy may be the girl now, but I think she's going to fall. Oh, I should leave that for predictions. But I was so passionate about that point that
I'm sticking to the belief, though, that Ivy isn't really doing it to use Derek. I really think she might be that naive.
Oh, falling for him?
Just that naive, like caught up in the moment. It's for her, it's probably such an emotional time.
Like
She wants this
vulnerable.
part so bad. And, she probably admires this director who's established in the industry that she wants to break into.
Yeah.
And here he is giving her googly eyes and touching her hair and like,
Giving everyone else
for her,
the
it's like,
heebie-jeebies.
oh, one can only hope that he's falling for me, and he,
Okay. But Karen was strong, and she didn't fall for that.
Well, Karen has a boo. She has a boyfriend.
Well, that too. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for Dev. We like Dev.
Yeah, he's a really good
guy.
boyfriend.
Yes. And he demonstrated it this episode when she was late
just been
for the
so
dinner.
supportive,
She
yeah.
missed the dinner. He was obviously angry, but he still gave her his hand. He's still a gentleman, which was nice to see. And then the support after she found out she didn't get the.
And what was really cute from the first episode is when her dad was like, "You're not an actress, you're a waitress."
Yeah.
He defended her. He's like,
Yeah.
"No, she's not a waitress. She's an actress."
Yeah. We love Dev. Tamra loves Dev. Tamra, when she's here next week, we'll talk more about Dev. So I guess was that all we had on those two? We obviously don't agree on most things, but
That's okay.
yeah, that's what makes the
We'll see who comes out the winner.
right.
in the
Exactly.
end.
We have a whole season ahead of us. But I
But
guess
that was an interesting question that you brought up. What if it does switch in later episodes?
that's what I'm saying.
Because even like in Hollywood, something can always
Become
happen. You can always lose your parts.
Yeah, the main one becomes the understudy. There's all this drama. Well, and that's what I had said to you, but I don't know if you don't remember it or if I was dreaming, but everyone else saw it. They were showing episodes and they were trying to act like there were, tons of callbacks that they each had to go to. So I was shocked to hear that they were announcing who got the role this time.
Right.
So I
Well,
don't-
little inside scoop.
Oh.
Uma Thurman. She's actually going to be coming onto a few of the episodes in later episodes.
Well, that'll be our news and gossip.
Okay.
I have some more news
I'll
on that
hush
too.
on that for now.
Yeah, let's pay some bills and then we'll get into our news and gossip. Ronnie?
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about? AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, let's get into some news and gossip here. Something that we like to do at AfterBuzz is always to check what the ratings are. So I have the debut episode, last week's episode, came in at 11.5 million viewers. There he is. Thanks, Ronnie.
I thought that was the number for our viewers tonight.
Today, right, yes. We're still counting them. They're counting in the
We're doing
back.
good.
They're counting them. They're on paper. And so they had a 3.8 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. And they said the new show had the largest rating of any 10 o'clock p.m. drama this season.
Amazing.
Ronnie.
That is good news.
Yeah. The only other thing they said that Entertainment Weekly reported that the ratings fell off by the second half hour, which I don't know if people were just, maybe something else was on. I don't know. Maybe
they just like fell asleep.
Ooh.
It is kind of late.
They fell asleep on the off button. But I think people, I mean, there were mixed tweets I saw. You know, some people love it, some people are not so into it. But I think it's definitely a hit so far, and
right.
I think
I love that you're bringing the ratings, because the big question for so many people is, you know, obviously the network put a lot of campaign money, you know, Super Bowl and all that for this show. Is it basically, you know, stepping through that door? Do you guys think that money for advertising does work for this show in the favor of this show?
It works. I mean, to bring out, I think it was another NBC show, Whitney, right? She's on NBC. Advertising works because I saw all the billboards. I was like, who is this girl? And you know, I knew about it just because of the advertising before even hearing about it on the streets. And so I think for Smash, they've been doing a really good job. I've seen it everywhere, and I was curious about it because of that. Sorry.
They got a lot of viewers, obviously. That number is extremely high. It's just that Smash is just going to have to keep doing its job and keep people coming back.
And that's the thing. It's the same thing with the box office. The first weekend is always pretty high because people, you know, you haven't heard word of mouth yet. Is it good? Is it bad? So we'll see. I'll report back next week with the ratings and see how this week went.
Right.
In other news and gossip, I have a picture. Phil knows I have a picture. We have some news that...
We'll get that right up for you, Kendra.
Okay,
Keep going.
You. Okay, the former All My Children cast member, Thorsten Kaye, I don't know, did you watch All My Children?
No.
Rest in peace, All My Children. Landed a recurring role on NBC's new musical drama, Smash. He will begin with the show's 6th episode, playing a love interest for Angelica Houston's character. There he is. Handsome man. That's some
There's
competition.
the picture.
Thank you.
She's doing pretty good there.
That's some competition for Jerry.
Guy.
Jerry can have his little floozy. And then I know you mentioned Gwyneth Paltrow.
No, Uma Thurman.
I mean Uma Thurman, sorry.
Right. So she actually is going to come onto the show in a future episode. She's playing with the idea of wanting to vie for the part of Marilyn.
Oh, really?
So there we might see a competition resurface between the three of them.
That's cool.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Nice. I actually this morning was listening to Ryan Seacrest. Make fun if you will. I listen to him every day. And Catherine McPhee was actually on, and she was talking about Adele, who just won so many Grammy Awards last night. And she's going to actually be on the show. She's going to sing a part, and it's going to kind of blend into Catherine's part, which is going to be really cool. Yeah,
that is awesome.
That'll be 3 or 4 episodes in.
And did you notice all those Smash commercials during the Grammys?
Yes, I did.
Jeez.
I was like, wait, I should be watching Smash. Oh, it's on tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. And sorry, last thing, this was just kind of an aside. We were talking about Catherine McPhee last week. I was wondering if it was her first acting gig. And is Phil still in there? No,
not right now. No.
Oh, okay. He had mentioned, or they were mentioning a horror film that she was in. I found out that she in 2008 was in something called House Bunny, which was a comedy. And then I also learned that she was up for playing the bride in The Hangover, which she didn't get, but she still laughed at the movie. So that's just a little bit of trivia for everyone.
And I did hear that in House Bunny, like I was reading some reviews on that. They're saying that she's much better now on Smash than she was on House Bunny.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
You can still go check her out and support her in House Bunny. Because, you know, that's how actors
I'm interested
evolve.
in seeing where she started.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we appreciate that. I think that's all we have for news and gossip, right?
And then for next week...
should we get predictions? Yes. That's what
And now, your AfterBuzz
news and gossip for
TV
next week?
prediction.
I love that intro. It's so Halloween. So next week...
Well, we saw that, you know, the relationship between Ivy and Derek continues in the next episode.
They become basically boyfriend and girlfriend.
Well,
shady.
We shall see what it's about, but they're basically still hooking up.
Yeah.
And
you're on her team.
It sounds like people are in the last scene, one of the last scenes of tonight's episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're on to them. And I think maybe prediction for next episode, it comes out and they know, like maybe somebody confesses to another person that it happened, and then we'll see what drama ensues after that.
And that all goes together with what I was predicting before we got to predictions. I think there's going to be some shifting around, and I think Karen's going to become Marilyn. And I mean, hey. May the best woman win.
I don't think it's going to come that quick, but we'll see.
No, I mean, down the line, maybe not next episode, but I think there's going to be some shift. There's going to be a shift. Something's going to, because they can't just do this the rest of the season. There has to be some kind of.
I want to find out if Karen's going to be in the ensemble, or it sounds
I think
like
she
for
starts
now,
off. Yeah, and then the snippet looked like, you know, Ivy maybe slacks off or something. She said she came in the room and was like, "Am I late?" And Karen's dancing with Derek.
Ooh.
Her boyfriend, I guess. I mean, Ivy's boyfriend. But we'll find out. And do we have any more predictions for the adoption, for anything else? No?
No.
I guess that's our exit.
Oh, we're out of time.
We're out of time. But thanks for joining us. And you can always tweet us. Where can they reach you?
Twitter handle is at Sarah Mendoza, SarahMendoza.
And I'm at Kendra Kabasele, KendraKabasele. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.